Thank you for joining us today. I ngā mana, i ngā reo, tēnā koutou katoa, nā mai ki te kaupapa whakahera nei, kia te senior ranger ki te tonga, e mahi ana au ki te kaunahere o Tamaki Makaurau, ko Bronwyn Tako ingoa, nā mihi ki a tātou. Welcome everyone, and thank you for taking time to join myself and Janine Nielsen. Thank you for taking the time to join myself and my colleague Janine Nielsen as we share with you the story of Ambury Regional Park and how through engaging with our communities we have created an operating model that brings people from all walks of life together to protect this unique and regionally significant open space. But first, let's put this all into context. So, where Ambury sits within the Auckland region. Auckland, or Tamaki Makaurau, is New Zealand's largest city. It's the main arrival point for the majority of immigrants and visitors that come to our shores, 3.8 million in 2019. Auckland is very much a melting pot of over 190 ethnicities and like a number of other cities around the world is coming under increasing pressure caused by population growth. And this has resulted in urban sprawl and densification around the inner city suburbs. Currently, the population sits just shy of 1.7 million, and over the next 30 years is expected to grow by a further million. Public land represents 10% of the region's total land area, and as you can see, there are three main agencies acting as land managers, with Auckland Council being the largest stakeholder. Policy guiding council provisions of park and open spaces looks to ensure a connected network of parks that are treasured, utilised and enjoyed. However, open space within the Auckland region is expensive, with going rates approximately 1 million for a rural block hectare of land or up to 10 million within the urban centres. The Auckland Park network is a myriad of blue and green space, ranging from coastal beaches, farmland, bush, and the pest-free islands of the Hauraki Gulf. They offer a wide range of opportunities for people to connect with nature, both during leisure time and as a transport link throughout the region. Regional parks are different from other open spaces as they're significant exemplars of the diverse landscapes and natural environments of the Auckland region. They are spaces where cultural conservation and regeneration of natural ecosystems is a priority, by also providing people places to enjoy respite and recreation in an outstanding location. Although many of the land blocks purchased in the early days were on the outskirts of the metropolitan area, the continued urban sprawl is now creeping up on the boundaries of a number of these parks. Management of all regional parkland is overseen by 88 dedicated ranger staff and supported by not only the wider council family and mana whenua, which are our local tribes, but also a large pool of volunteers working over 65,000 hours a year across conservation, recreation and partnership programs. The mahi, or work that our volunteers do, not only enable us to continue to manage these significant assets for the people of Auckland, but also encourages kaitiakitanga, a guardianship of the space to ensure the legacy continues for generations to come. Ambury Regional Park, the reason why we're all here, was purchased in the mid-1970s as the buffer zone between residential housing and the city's wastewater treatment plant. It takes its name from the milk company that was based on the land between 1893 and 1965, which supplied Auckland with the majority of its milk. It is sited on the land that has long been favoured by both the Māori and European settlers for cultivation. And there is evidence still remaining on the park today in regards to the Māori stone gardens and the traditional stone walls that are located across the park. In 1977, A proposal to establish the parkland as an educational farm centre was accepted, and when the park opened to the public in '79, Ambury became the first public education facility of its type in New Zealand. Parks management focus today is still centred around celebrating and conserving this part of our history. As a park with high recreational and educational values, it offers the nearly 400,000 annual visitors a diverse range of opportunities for both passive and active recreation. However, it is probably most well known for interacting with friendly farm animals. However, what truly makes Ambury special is the people. And it is this story of how through community engagement we have been able to maintain the balance between the park's conservation needs and recreational pressures, and how through meaningful relationships with stakeholders we have been able to embrace the past and plan for the future. And to tell you that story, I'm now going to pass you on to my colleague, a passionate and dedicated ranger that has served Ambury for the last 19 years, a local resident of Ambury Bridge, and a community champion, Janine Nielsen.
Tōna koutou, e nā rai waka o te ao marama haere mai. Wai te tahi o ngā kaitiaki o te paka. Kei te kainihira o Tāmaki Makaurau ahau e mahi ana. Ko Janine Nielsen tōku ingoa. E mihi ana kia koutou. Greetings everyone, and thank you Bronwyn for sharing the role of regional parks and introducing Ambury. Over the next few minutes, my presentation will hopefully give you insight into the life and role Ambury Regional Park plays in well-being, healthy people, healthy parks. It is often said it takes a village to raise a child, and much like Ambury, our past and present communities, our dedicated volunteers and our many visitors all play a vital role in protecting, preserving and the future preservation for generations to come. It's important to acknowledge our mountain, Te Pane o Mataaho, who constantly reminds us of the ability of Mother Nature. Our landscape was formed by her eruption and over thousands of years has transformed numerous times, from prehistoric forests and bird life to the arrival of our Indigenous people who lived here in what was the largest fortified pa or Māori settlement, to New Zealand's first settlers and farming to what is now regional parkland. Obviously, a very quick synopsis, but dynamic nonetheless, and Ambury is dynamic. We are in a unique situation in the heart of the city to have green space, taonga or treasures that are accessible and connected. Our community value these places dearly, and our area is well visited for the diversity it offers. A place where conservation, recreation, education, cultural and natural heritage come together. In terms of the future, there is always more work to be done. And in this example, it is referring to the past by enhancing cultural landscapes. This is the things we can't see. It's a way of life, it's stories, traditions, and sacred places. Currently, our council partner, Healthy Waters, is undertaking a feasibility study for a star compass project, Te Toro Ngawhitu, Reaching for the Stars. It's inspired by the lunar calendar, or Maramataka, that guided Māori planting and harvesting rituals, both on land and sea. This project will contribute immensely towards thriving Māori communities, create sustainable education opportunities, and we are excited. Ambury sits on the shores of New Zealand's second largest harbour, the Manukau Harbour, where lava creeps to the water's edge. Our shoreline is a significant ecological area, home to thousands of waders. We have New Zealand dotterel breeding, which are rarer than kiwi, and welcome yearly mass numbers of godwits after their massive migration from Alaska and Siberia. For as long as birds have been migrating, they have been coming back to this place. Key management and relationships are integral in the ongoing conservation efforts to protect these wadebird populations, with over 56 different species recorded. Our adjoining landscape is part of Auckland's largest wastewater treatment plant, and much like a volcanic eruption, has seen a dramatic change from when the area was used as oxidation ponds in the 1950s. In the 1970s, very concerned residents began meeting with the operators of the treatment plant to address the impact on the community, harbour and wildlife. The community liaison and bird advisory groups still meet quarterly as a requirement of the company's resource consent. These long-standing advocacy partnerships have paved the way for community involvement and awareness of the significance of our area, especially relevant as we have urbanisation on our doorstep. These days, we are more active than ever. We have local volunteers who undertake extensive pest control and bird monitoring, supported by our rangers. And it's not just birds flocking to the area. People are flocking for active recreation opportunities, and it becomes very obvious our future role here to extend walking and biking tracks, realign them and diversify, create opportunities for education, but mostly extend the arm of guardianship to this area, to all of our visitors. One of the major differences that Ambury offers is the ever popular educational trips that take students on a journey through curriculum-based experiences. Around 8,000 school children are booked on organised visits. These experiences are not limited to educational visits. Cows are milked daily from June to December for our visitors to shore, and our visitors are sure to take advantage of the unique experience of cow milking in the city. Hundreds of people get to bottle feed a lamb during August and September. Ambury is a fully working farm that stocks 500 breeding ewes, beef cattle, and a small dairy herd, and models sustainable farming management practices. Our milking program is yet another connection to the past. Ambury offers the chance for people to understand where their food comes from. They have close and personal interactions with friendly farm animals while wandering safely through our paddock. Mahitahi. Ambury is nestled in the Mangere Bridge community, and locals advocated for the area to become a regional park once the water care treatment plant no longer required the land for buffer zone. So again, history tells us that people have together and advocated for the protection and preservation of this significant area. Our volunteers are integral, covering all aspects: pest control, bird monitoring, animal husbandry, and amenity management. We also have a very engaged friends group who use the byline. It's all about Mangere Bridge. The friends group have some straightforward visions, and that is to create caring, connected, waste-wise community, to create childhood memories, and mostly is to keep things simple and fun. Our community supports Ambury, and Ambury supports the community in return. Our partners is listed, our adjoining landscapes such as Te Motu o Hiaroa, or Tuatawa Historic Reserve, Te Pane o Mataoho, and the Esplanade, together with key stakeholders, iwi, which are the mana whenua or local tribes of the area, water care, and council. Collectively, this is the Ambury whānau, or family. Ambury is dynamic, and no day is the same. And like all good things, things take time, referring to the future parkland growth to connect and manage our adjoining spaces. Ambury Farm Day, another point of difference. The first ever Farm Day was in 1979. Together with the local Lions Club and Park Ranger, they hosted an event with the idea that Ambury Farm Day would be about free family fun, about families and city folk experiencing things farming. From humble beginnings to what is now Auckland Council's largest event. Although grown in size, the objective is still as it was, and organised internally by ranger staff and the wider Ambury family as support. Farm Day really sums up Ambury's heart of being part of a community. It brings people together and celebrate. It's an occasion for families that is free and unique, and we're always looking at ways to cater to our varied visitors. This is not the only event held at Ambury though. Even though it's the largest, we also host movies in the parks, which attracts the largest attendance during the series, and so many more low-key events. Ambury is a destination for families, our free barbecues and bookable site, a campground, the pet animal area, walking and biking tracks, and the escape to the foreshore. See these spaces buzz. Our visitors represent the diversity of people within our city. The future is bright in our piece of paradise, and the fundamental link that generates the future potential and experiences that Ambury can offer to both flora and fauna and people is the need to honour the past. Holistically viewing the area and adjoining landscapes as connected, ecological, geological, and culturally significant landscapes. ensuring a constant balance between people, place and space. In summary, in a bustling city you will find Ambury to be a birdwatcher's paradise, a thriving harbour, recognised and valued cultural landscapes, a family destination, hands-on education, a place for recreation and spiritual well-being, a well-kept farm, dedicated volunteers and an engaged community. Ambury will continue to provide all of the benefits of open space in the city and work collaboratively in the vision of what could be the biggest regional park in the heart of South Auckland. Ngā mihi koutou. Thank you for listening.